We're live from New Delhi, watching DT India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Lipakshi Khurana, coming up in the next 30 minutes. Prime Minister Modi hoists a sacred flag atop Sri Ram Temple in Ayodhya, says we must take pride in our heritage. Prime Minister Modi inaugurates Panchjanya monument honouring Lord Krishna's sacred conch in Haryana's Kurukshetra, also takes part in the 350th Shahidi Divas of Sri Guru Tegh Bahadur. Diplomatic efforts over draft US plan to end Ukraine war intensifies as US and Russia hold talks in Abu Dhabi. And India, 27-4-2 at Stamps on Tuesday, looks at a steep chase of Mammoth 549 runs in final test against South Africa at Guwahati. And on to the details now. Prime Minister Narendra Modi today hoisted the Dharma Dhwaj on the spire of Sri Ram Janmabhoomi Temple in Ayodhya, Uttar Pradesh. This marks the completion of the temple's construction and the ushering in of a new chapter of cultural celebration and national unity. RSS Chief Dr. Mohan Bhagwat and Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath were also present on the occasion. Prime Minister Modi termed the occasion as historic, highlighting the significance of the Dharma Dhwaj.
ये धर्म ध्वजा केवल एक ध्वजा नहीं, ये भारतीय सभ्यता के पुनर्जागरण का ध्वज है। इसका भगवा रंग, इस पर रचित सूर्यवंश की ख्याति, वर्णित ओम शब्द और अंकित कोविदार वृक्ष राम राज्य की कीर्ति को प्रतिरूपित करता है। ये ध्वज संकल्प है, ये ध्वज सफलता है, ये ध्वज संघर्ष से सृजन की गाथा है, ये ध्वज सदियों से चले आ रहे स्वप्नों का साकार स्वरूप है। ये ध्वज संतों की साधना और समाज की सहभागिता की सार्थक परिणति है। साथियों, आने वाली सदियों और सहस्त्र शताब्दियों तक ये धर्म ध्वज प्रभु राम के आदर्शों और सिद्धांतों का उद्घोष करेगा।
Well, earlier, Prime Minister Modi visited Sapta Mandir, or 7 temples located within the expansive Ram Janmabhoomi temple complex in Ayodhya. These 7 temples honor Maharishi Vashishta, Maharishi Vishwamitra, Maharishi Agastya, Maharishi Valmiki, Devi Ahilya, Nishadraj Guha and Mata Shabri. The temples represent the revered gurus, devotees and companions who played pivotal roles in Lord Ram's life, and their presence in the complex highlights their enduring significance. While Prime Minister Modi said the divine courtyard of the Ram Mandir are emerging as a sacred symbol of India's collective strength, the legacy of which continues to inspire millions.
कि राम मंदिर का दिव्य प्रांगण भारत के सामूहिक सामर्थ्य की भी चेतना स्थली बन रहा है। यहां 7 मंदिर बने हैं। यहां माता शबरी का मंदिर बना है, जो जनजातीय समाज के प्रेम भाव और आतिथ्य परंपरा की प्रतिमूर्ति है। यहां निषादराज का मंदिर बना है। ये उस मित्रता का साक्षी है जो साधन नहीं, साध्य को, उसकी भावना को पूजती है। यहां एक ही स्थान पर माता अहिल्या है, महर्षि वाल्मीकि है, महर्षि वशिष्ठ है, महर्षि विश्वामित्र है, महर्षि अगस्त्य है और संत तुलसीदास है। रामलला के साथ साथ इन सभी ऋषियों के दर्शन भी यहीं पर होते हैं। ये मंदिर हमारी आस्था के साथ साथ मित्रता, कर्तव्य और सामाजिक सद्भाव के मूल्यों को भी शक्ति देते हैं।
Well, Prime Minister Modi also visited Shesh Avatar Mandir, where he offered prayers to Lord Lakshman, younger sibling of Lord Ram. The shrine is located inside the temple complex. The Shesh Avatar Mandir, situated along the banks of the Sarayu River, traces its origins back to the Treta Yuga era. Lord Lakshman is believed to be the incarnation of Sheshnag. And earlier, upon arrival and after leaving from the Ram temple, Prime Minister Modi held a vibrant road show in Ayodhya. Thousands gathered in a festive, spiritual atmosphere filled with chants, devotional music and shankh sounds. Well, the devotees who witnessed the sacred saffron flag being hoisted atop the Sri Ram Janmabhoomi temple expressed profound joy, calling it a historic moment of cultural resurgence and a deeply emotional milestone for the nation.
There was an event 500 years ago that left an imprint, and there is an event now that is going to leave an imprint for the next 5,000 years. And we are all very happy that something this historic has taken place right before our eyes. You know, this is something that I'm going to tell not just my parents, not just my children, but also my grandchildren and hopefully my great-grandchildren.
Today is the day when the Punar Sthapana of that Hindu Asmita, Hindu Punar Sthapana has happened. So everyone here is feeling just proud and we are just blessed.
Very great moment to be here and to see this epic moment in our life. We are here and we have seen this Dhwaja Smarro, and I feel so blessed to be part of this occasion. And this is representing our culture, our community.
The flag of Dharm is atop, flying proudly after a very large number of years, actually several centuries of struggle and strife and pain and misery, and now it's free and flowing freely. So it's expression of the civilization, you know, very wonderful and powerful expression of the civilization, of its determination, of its resolve, that our country and her civilization doesn't die. It may get subdued, but it always rises back and flowers back.
Well, on the occasion of the Ayodhya Ram Mandir flag hoisting ceremony in Uttar Pradesh, the holy city is immersed in devotion, enthusiasm and spiritual energy. Prasar Bharati Chairman Navneet Kumar Sehgal said it is a monumental day for Sanatan and a moment of fulfillment for every Indian. Take a listen.
बहुत अच्छा में लग रहा है। मैं यहाँ जिलाधिकारी रहा हूँ तो हमने रामलला को जब टेंट में देखते थे तो ये होता था कि एक मंदिर कब बनेगा। मंदिर बना है, आज ध्वजारोहण भी हो गया, मंदिर की सभी व्यवस्थाएं पूर्ण हुई। सनातन के लिए एक बहुत बड़ा दिन है और हर एक भारतवासी के लिए ये एक संतोष का दिन है।
And Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurated the newly constructed Panchjanya, a structure dedicated to the sacred conch associated with Lord Krishna. He inaugurated the newly constructed Panchjanya, constructed in honor of the sacred conch of Lord Krishna. Thereafter, he visited the Mahabharata Anubhav Kendra, an immersive experiential center where installations depict significant episodes from the Mahabharata, highlighting its enduring cultural and spiritual significance. And Prime Minister participated in a special program also commemorating the 350th Shahidi Divas of Sri Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji, the revered 9th Sikh Guru. Well, Guru Tegh Bahadur sacrificed his life for the cause of humanity and for the protection of religion. He was a great spiritual guide and a true patriot. He promoted love and unity in the society. He encouraged the people to fight for truth and justice. And moving on, Defence Minister Rajnath Singh delivered a keynote address at Samudra Utkarsh, a seminar organised by the Department of Defence Production, showcasing the capabilities of Indian shipyards in New Delhi. He's urged international partners to tap the potential of India's vibrant shipbuilding industry and co-develop next-generation maritime capabilities. He said that India aims to become preferred ship repair hub for Indo-Pacific region.
Ships from friendly foreign nations are increasingly coming to Indian shipyards for the complex refits. And this is a clear recognition of India's capability, reliability, and the cost competitiveness. Our ambition is clear. We want to become the preferred sustainment and repair hub for the entire Indo-Pacific region. India's shipbuilding ecosystem today stands on the strength of the multiple world-class platforms that reflect our technological maturity and industrial depth. In the defense sector, our shipyards are delivering some of the most advanced vessels in the Indo-Pacific.
Well, Indian Navy Chief Admiral Dinesh K. Tripathi inaugurated the 4th edition of the Indian Navy's Naval Innovation and Indigenization Organization Seminar, Swavalamban 2025 at Manekshaw Center in New Delhi. Well, the two-day event from 25th to 26th of November will highlight Indian Navy's innovation and indigenization efforts and the contributions of the Indian industry. Seminar also includes dedicated exhibit zones highlighting products that have emerged as success stories as well as those realized through the ideation to induction cycle.
ये अभी चौथा एडिशन है एंड पिछले सालों में और स्पेशली पिछले 4 सालों में हमने इंडियन इंडस्ट्री जो स्मॉल स्केल इंडस्ट्रीज हैं, जो हमारा लोकल टैलेंट है हमारे पास इतना बढ़िया, उनको हमने जो हमारे एरिया से जहां हमको फोकस चाहिए था, नीश टेक्नोलॉजीज चाहिए थे, वो हमने इनको दिए हैं एंड जो प्रोडक्ट्स उन्होंने बनाए हैं उस चैलेंज पे वो आज डिस्प्ले पे हैं यहाँ. इनमें से काफी प्रोडक्ट्स हैव बीन टेस्टेड इन द फील्ड and some of them have been inducted into the Indian Navy also. These products have application not only in the Navy but in the other services and also possible civilian application.
Well, India's External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar held a bilateral meeting with the President of the House of Representatives, Cyprus Anita Dimitriou, on Tuesday. Taking to social media platform X, the minister said that both dignitaries had wide-ranging discussions on bilateral cooperation anchored in shared democratic values, respect for territorial integrity and a firm opposition to terrorism and radicalization. External Affairs Minister further said that he is confident that Cyprus' upcoming EU presidency will help further strengthen India-EU ties. And in Thimphu, a solemn concluding ceremony marked the return of Lord Buddha's holy relics to India after an extended and immensely successful exposition in Bhutan. The rituals were held at the main monastery where the sacred relics had been displayed since their arrival on November 8th. Union Minister for Minority Affairs and Parliamentary Affairs Kiren Rijiju, who led the Indian delegation, joined the King of Bhutan and senior Bhutanese leaders for the ceremonial proceedings. Also, during the ceremony, the Home Minister of Bhutan expressed heartfelt gratitude to Prime Minister Narendra Modi and the Government of India for bringing the sacred relics to Bhutan and for extending their exposition by an additional week, a gesture welcomed by thousands of devotees. Kiren Rijiju, in his remarks, said he was deeply moved by the reverence shown by the people of Bhutan, noting that the cultural and spiritual bonds between India and Bhutan continue to be the foundation of their friendship.
These sacred relics of Lord Buddha coming to Bhutan has a significant message of Lord Buddha, which binds India and Bhutan together. A centuries-old relationship between India and Bhutan has been cemented by our understanding, and to give a spiritual touch to our relationship, the coming of the sacred Buddha relics to Bhutan on the occasion of the World Peace Prayer, which is conducted here in Bhutan by the Royal Government of Bhutan, and on the auspicious occasion of the 70th birth anniversary of the 4th King of Bhutan. This has made this particular coming of relics extremely special.
And still to come in this edition of DT India Live. Japanese Prime Minister Sanae Takaichi and US President Donald Trump discussed China relations over phone. RSF announces unilateral humanitarian truce in Sudan.
For the longest time, we treated the Earth's resources as endless. But now the real challenge is to rethink how we use what we already have. Because how we manage the environment's resources will dictate our chances of survival.
He applied finely crushed basalt rock on 2 of his 4 fields and says the difference is clear to see.
It's like a window of opportunity. For every hour we are working with this project.
The pumped groundwater is first filtered. Then it goes into a tank and is filtered again. After that, it is collected in this tank where people can access it.
We have been making handicrafts from banana plants for quite some time now. Currently, we produce around 30 products.
Welcome back. You're watching DT India Live. I'm Lipakshi Khurana, and moving on. U.S. Army Secretary Dan Driscoll is meeting with the Russian delegation in Abu Dhabi on Tuesday. U.S. and British media reported days after talks with Ukraine in Geneva aimed at ending the conflict. Now, Driscoll met the Russian delegation on Monday with talks due to continue on Tuesday. The latest talks were previously undisclosed and follow meetings held in Switzerland between U.S. and Ukrainian officials aimed at resolving the war with Russia. The United States has been pushing Ukraine to accept its proposals to end the war, despite Kyiv saying the plan concedes too much to Moscow. Meanwhile, Ukrainian Security Council Secretary Rustem Umerov said on Tuesday that Ukraine wants President Volodymyr Zelensky and U.S. counterpart Donald Trump to meet this week for further talks on ending the war with Russia. And Japanese Prime Minister Sanae Takaichi and U.S. President Donald Trump discussed China relations in a phone call on Tuesday. The first talks since the Japanese premier sparked a major diplomatic bust-up with Beijing over her remarks on Taiwan. Following the call, Takaichi told reporters that President Trump gave a brief explanation of the recent state of U.S.-China relations, declining to go into further details. Takaichi added that Trump told her they are very close friends and she could call any time. Meanwhile, Taiwan Premier Cho Jung-tae has asserted that a return to China is not an option for the island's 23 million people. The reaction came as President Xi Jinping pressed his country's sovereignty claims in a call with U.S. counterpart Trump on Monday. She said Taiwan's return to China at the end of World War II was a key part of Beijing's vision for the world order. Well, Taiwan's democratically elected government strongly rejects China's stance. Also on his part, Trump touted relations with China as extremely strong after a phone call with Xi. Terming it a very good phone call, Trump said two leaders discussed the conflict in Ukraine, fentanyl trafficking and a deal for the farmers. Trump also said he had accepted Xi's invitation to visit China in April and that Xi would visit the U.S. later in the year. Trump made no mention of Taiwan in his post. The call came weeks after the two leaders met in South Korea, where they agreed to a framework for a trade deal that has yet to be finalized. And Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro on Monday declared his country invincible as the U.S. stepped up pressure by designating the Cartel de los Soles a foreign terrorist organization and deploying military assets in the Caribbean. Speaking on his TV program, Maduro told supporters the U.S. would not defeat Venezuela, responding to the latest American actions targeting alleged drug trafficking networks.
Whatever they do, however they do it, wherever they do it, they will not be able to defeat Venezuela. We are invincible. Whatever they do, they have not been able to defeat our homeland, and they never will.
La paz será mi puerto.
Well, U.S. President Donald Trump plans to speak directly with Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro, though it is still in the planning stage. Meanwhile, White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt has said that President Trump is satisfied with the strikes on suspected drug boats and Washington will continue the operations.
I'm not going to broadcast any actions that may or may not be happening with respect to Venezuela. I know I've been very clear about the administration's position, as has the president and his national security team. We view the Maduro regime as being illegitimate, and the president has been very satisfied with the successful strikes against narco-terrorists and foreign terrorists that are illegally trafficking drugs towards the United States of America. He's not going to tolerate that, and you can expect to see those strikes continue.
Meanwhile, Venezuela's Aviation Institute has told international airlines to resume flights within 48 hours or risk losing their authorization. The warning from the International Air Transport Association came after several carriers cancelled services following a U.S. Federal Aviation Administration warning of a potentially hazardous situation when flying over Venezuela. And Sudan's Rapid Support Forces have announced an apparently unilateral 3-month humanitarian truce. The head of Sudan's Rapid Support Forces, General Mohammed Hamdan Dagalo, said late on Monday that his paramilitaries would immediately enter into a 3-month humanitarian truce in its conflict with the country's armed forces. The RSF move came after the UAE lambasted Army Chief Abdel Fattah al-Burhan for rejecting the U.S. truce proposal and accusing Washington of echoing Emirati positions on the conflict. Also, the United States and the United Arab Emirates, Egypt and Saudi Arabia, known as the Quad, earlier this month proposed a plan for the 3-month truce followed by peace talks. And on to some sports news now. India staring at another home series loss after being given a mammoth target of 549 runs by South Africa to win the second and final test match and draw the series 1-1. At the close of fourth day's play, India were at 27 runs with the loss of 2 wickets with Sai Sudarshan at the crease with night watchman Kuldeep Yadav. The hosts need another 522 runs with the day left to pull the miracle. Earlier, South Africa declared their innings at 260 runs for 5 wickets after taking a lead of 548 runs. With the match heavily tilted in South Africa's favour, India now faces a monumental job, that is to bat out nearly 4 sessions to salvage a draw or somehow script one of the greatest chasers in Test history. All right, that's all for this edition of DD India Live. But let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on the DD India mobile app. The app is available on both Android and iOS platforms. Scan the QR code on the screen to download now. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Lipakshi Khurana from all of us here in Delhi. Thanks for watching DD India Live.